Hi, I'm here today to tell you how vision boards have changed my life. Um, and I'm going into my sixth year now, I guess, of using them. And I have some really tangible outcomes from using vision boards. And that was surprising to me. So, my history with that is I've always been a journaler, and that has always been useful to me. But I'm also a very kind of out of sight, out of mind person. So the vision board changed all of that for me. I still do journal, but now I use the vision boards to put in front of my face every day what I'm kind of working toward for that year. So I have always been a person that's had goals. I think we all are. But we have varying degrees of our ability to achieve those, or our belief in ourselves, and just our path to getting from point A to point B. And the vision boards for me have helped with that as well. And there are things that I have learned along the way that I wanted to share also about how I have structured them for myself, but also how I have learned that it's not the kind of thing that I want to make me feel guilty or bad about myself for not accomplishing something. And so there are some strategies with that as well that I feel have been super helpful. And I just wanted to share as well. And so the first thing to say is that there's truly no right way to do a vision board. And I never read anything about it really. There were just a couple of friends of mine and I that decided to try it one year. And so we have been the same kind of core group that's been getting together every year now to do our vision boards. And we always do them in January. So we'll be doing them in the next couple of weeks. And I do love that. I think that that's been helpful to me as well, but that's neither here nor there. That's something that would be up to anyone to decide if they want to do it together. First, I'll show you kind of how I have organized my boards, and they've evolved over the years. And toward the end of this video, I will share the tangible results that have come out of my boards that I'm not sure if I would have really been able to accomplish them without my boards. Maybe I would have, but at any rate, the boards have been very, very helpful to me with that. So I'm going to share with you this last year's board. And I choose to use magazines, and I can share that whole process as well. But lots of people I know do Pinterest or whatever their methods are. I also have a strategy for how I've started to organize my boards ahead of time on just a Google Doc. But one of the things I've learned over the years is I like to have kind of a directional word for myself. And so, and next video, I can share with you the years of boards that I took photos of. I'm sad to say I don't have my first one, and I'm bummed about that because that one really contributed to my ability to graduate from a college program that I was working on. It was actually a doctorate. And it was a lot to get through, especially as a single mom, and things like that. But so I wish I had a photo of that board. But one of the things I've always done to organize my boards is I always have in the center of my board kind of what my priority is for the year. And as you'll see in a next video, when am able to share the other photos of the other boards, some pieces of my boards have remained the same all the way through. And this love has remained the same. I feel like it's really important for me, and that's a core kind of value, and something that I always want to be cognizant of throughout my day and throughout my year. This particular last couple of years, I really felt like I had lost my sense of direction and kind of creativity. I feel like I've been a creative person, but it I really felt like I needed a boost in finding those things that were inspiring to me again, and pushing me in a new direction, or a next direction, I guess I should say. The compass, I think I've had on many boards now. I know for certain, like at least the last 3 years, I've kept that one on. I like to organize my board so that I have certain areas. Like this one is kind of more of a productivity area, I guess. And like the butterflies and just wanting to have that sense of inspiration, reminding myself that I need to find other people to connect with, um, kind of, uh, but then also, I guess, reminding myself to recharge and have my light. Um, this is a really important one, because one of my boards actually really helped me get to a point where I was able to accomplish a goal that has been a lifelong goal of mine as well. And that has to do with getting a condo in Mexico. Um, One of the things with my boards over the years, my daughter has been always in the center until more recently, and I moved her down, because I'm still obviously a parent to her, but I also feel like my role has changed now. She's not the center of my universe. It's unhealthy for her and it's unhealthy for me, to put that much of a burden on my kid. And so my job now is to get to know her as she's becoming her own person, in the world. And then I have a health area. Um, some of these have been on my board for a while because I haven't been the best at accomplishing those. But I can move them from year to year, which is good too. I wanted to learn more about how to use our public transit system. We have a good public transit system here. I just haven't really taught myself how to use it. So I was able to do that. And then another thing too is I'll hide things, because not everything is everyone's business or whatever. So I like to have little pockets sometimes of things. This is kind of a relationship area, and the things I'd like to have if I get into another relationship, and to just remind myself of what those things are. And then another piece is kind of my goals for vacation, like world exploration, etc. And then I'll have things that inspire me in terms of words, uh, that just remind me of kind of what my goals are. It's your heart that takes you places. Um, so sometimes fortune cookies, etc. That just kind of keep me on track. Good, healthy bedtime, things like that. Um, this has been a really important one for me also. And that one is just these two empty chairs. And that spoke to me. And that's one of the reasons I like magazines. But better than something where I'm just going online and picking out pictures that I think are representative of what I'm looking for the year. Because what I find is when I'm going through magazines, which they're not cheap these days, but there are places to find discarded magazines, libraries, and things like that. And I can share the materials that I use, and also where I get a lot of that, without spending a mint, because magazines now are $13 and up, it seems like. But what I love about magazines is I have found that I've gotten more inspiration and direction, than I might have done on my own. So I do love, with my core group of friends that we've been doing this with, we lay out the magazines on whatever night we've chosen to get together and do our vision boards. And we chat about kind of what we're thinking, but then, just in general, we just have a nice time and kind of make it an evening of it. But I love that we also are thumbing through and getting inspiration, from the magazine piece, which again, I think would be really different if I were just saying, I need a picture of a boat, or I want a picture of Mexico, or I want a picture of whatever. So at any rate, the two chairs for me this year have been one of the most important parts of my board, which were that I really wanted to be spending more time with people in my life that I've felt like I haven't spent enough time with, and family and friends. And I do spend a lot of time with family and friends, but there were just people in my mind and in my heart going into this last year where I thought that needs to be a priority for me. Life is short, and you don't know when you're going to lose the people that you love. So I put that in there, and I think that that's been one of the biggest pieces, I would say, of this year's board for me, the spending time with those people that I care about and love, and then also being a better transitional parent, I guess. I don't know how to use what to say about that, but as my daughter is getting older, um, to move from being, momming all the time to stepping back a little bit and letting her challenge herself and make mistakes, and all, of course, being there for her, but letting her know that I'm trusting her as she's moving into adulthood. That's going to make me cry. um, but that's been a really important part. And I feel like I've done a good job with it this year. So, and I'll continue that into next year as she moves into moving on to college, really, or wherever, whatever she decides to do. So, geesh, sorry. Um, but some of these things have carried from board to board, and like I got a paddle board, and I don't know, 3 years ago, I think I got it in 2022. That's been a goal on my board for the last 3 years at least. I really haven't done it, but one philosophy I have learned over the years, and I think it's really important, is to not feel guilty every time I look at it. So I can see it's a canoe on there, but to me, it represents my paddleboard, and getting out there on a lake somewhere and trying to figure out how to use this paddleboard. But it's just there, and I don't feel guilty about the fact that I haven't done it again this year. I will move it to next year, and continue to remember the things that I have done well this year, um, etc. So, at any rate, I just wanted to share all of that and wish everyone a happy new year. And if anyone's interested, I will share in a next video my process, the materials that I use, and why I've chosen those. And I can also share photographs, maybe not in the next video, however I structure that, but I would love to share also specific boards that I have the photographs for, which is the majority of them in the last 6 years, and exactly what outcomes have come from those. And they've been really good. So, anyway, happiest new year to everyone, vision boarding or not. And thanks for watching. Okay, bye.